We're in the corner of North Avenue and Hartford Road. This is one of the more staple murals inside Baltimore City. It was painted by an artist by the name of Tom Miller. He was a prominent artist within Baltimore City throughout multiple neighborhoods, and a lot of his gallery work transferred over to the mural project. Everybody really enjoys it, and it's become one of the most iconic pieces inside of Baltimore City. So what we're trying to do here today is restore one of the largest Tom Miller murals inside of Baltimore City. And Spoon Popkin was one of the original assistants to Tom Miller when he first painted this mural back in, I think it was like 96, 95.
Tom Miller pretty much used the same colors for all his murals, so I have his original color chart. So it's pretty easy to match his stuff up. Otherwise, you have to go and get an original image of it, a copy of his image, and then match it up against the paint chart. But here's the shot that I took. So this one is I can't match it exactly to these colors because these are the faded colors. But this is just a chart so that I know what's where. You know, this green is 560, this is yellow 322, and like that. And then I can go back and forth to this when I'm, if like an entire area has just been painted out over the restoration, then I can go back to this to see how it was originally. Well, a lot of times the murals that I do, I'm really like painting Tom's murals for him. And what I've learned about doing his murals is that it's really nice to do something that makes people feel good about their neighborhood. People love these murals. The scenes of people reading and children playing, and just it's like colorful and bright and just makes it feel good. Well, when we got up on the top of this little fireplace piece here, the bricks are totally crumbling, so we can't touch them. I need to get a mason to come in and restore that, because if I start digging around in there, it could just fall apart. And the city actually, even though they don't own this building, they own this wall. So it's the city's responsibility to get that repaired. These are some pieces of the old mural. It's kind of like being a giant dentist, though. It's really, you're chiseling and poking at it. I should show you how much we used up with the scrapers. They really died on this job. Let's see if I have one. Yeah, these were completely flat across. You just wear them away. Yeah. The lifespan of this paint is about 10 years. There's a spot up there where you'd be able to see how much it's faded, because there's a pink, and it's like the pink looks pretty vibrant when it's still there, but when you see the fresh pink up against it, it's like a completely different color. Just the whole thing changes so quickly. And I know there's a new kind of paint, Nova color, that we're going to use on the other wall that's supposed to last 20 years. Well, normally if it wasn't a restoration, the scaffolding would go up, and then you'd paint the entire wall with sealer, 2 coats, and then you would snap off a grid on it, and then you just fill it in block by block, like draw it in block by block, like drawing in a puzzle. And then you use your master design to go and fill in all the colors. It's like doing a giant jigsaw puzzle. It's really satisfying. I would guess it's probably a 3-story row house with 12-foot ceilings. So it's probably, and the first floor is raised, so it's at least 40 feet. It can be pretty crazy. This is definitely the tallest mural that I've worked on. And it's like if you're really busy, it's not too bad being up on the top level, but once you get down to just doing like little tiny touch-ups, then your brain has the space to think about how ridiculously high you are up in the air, and it's all open around you, and North Avenue and Hartford Road are flying past rapidly. So I think the last time I restored this mural, I was fine up until the last day, and then the last day it just hit me how high it was, and I could barely pry my fingers off the scaffolding to get back down, and I had to make my assistant finish.
We're just upkeeping it, so we're just scraping off the paint that's peeling off and repriming it and repainting it to look exactly the way it looked before. I think it's incredibly important, and I think it has a lot of value that maybe you can't measure directly, but I'm of the belief that people are incredibly influenced by their environment, and Baltimore has a lot of dilapidation, a lot of abandoned buildings. It's heavy stuff to have to see every day, so when you have paintings and color on the walls, I think it has like a psychological effect and makes people feel a little bit better about what they're doing here. Well, I think it's a very visible example of positive change, and whenever you're working on a mural, people always walk by and respond positively and say, thank you for doing this, and it's only good feedback. People love it, you know. We don't live in the most colorful city, so it helps to have some nice pictures on the walls.
You know, the other day somebody stopped by and was talking to me, and I was like, you know, I'd really rather be in my studio painting. And then I realized I really wouldn't. That as an artist, you don't really get a lot of validation in your studio. But I'm thinking I'm going to start taping people here, because all day long when we're here and painting, people stop by and they're like, it's fantastic what you're doing. That looks great. And I'm like, I want a tape of that when I'm working alone in my studio. I'm like, it just makes you feel so good. I mean, even if you're having like a really bad, stressed out day, when somebody comes by and tells you what a wonderful thing that you're doing for the city, you really can't beat it.